ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखामृतांश। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the heart of Sanatana Shiksha, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Sanatana Swami. We are in the discussion of chapter 22, which is the most important chapter in the Sanatana Shiksha, you can say, because it speaks about the Abhidhamma Tattva. So till now, we have seen Mahaprabhu begins by teaching the Abhidhamma Tattva and speaks about the condition of the Jiva, the Bhadra Jiva and the Nitya Jiva, and Nitya Mukta and the Bhadra, and Nitya Bhadra, sorry. And then he speaks about Abhidhe is the sadhana, ultimately for the Bhadra Jiva to again become liberated. And among the three paths, karma, jnana and yoga, bhakti is the topmost path. That all he establishes, and we saw that Dashamula Tattva is covered there. 3 Dashamula Tattvas are covered in that teachings. Now, having established how bhakti is superior to even karma and jnana, how Krishna bestows mercy on those who oppose him. That was the theme what we discussed. And especially Krishna has Surya Sama, Maya hai Andhakar. We discussed that verse in the last classes, if you remember. And Krishna bestows mercy, and then the devotee also attains devotional service by the devotee's mercy. So both play a role, Krishna and the devotee. Guru Krishna Prasadapai Bhakti Tathavacha. Ultimately, Krishna acts in this world through his pure devotees. Through his pure devotees, he acts. So that was a point which was established in the last class also, if you remember. And how just by taking the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees, one can get the mercy of the Lord, Mahat Kripa. And 2 important verses from the Bhagavatam which speak about Rajo Vishekam. One is from the Raghunath, sorry, not Raghunath, King Raghugan speaking to Jad Bharat, and again another one is Prahlad speaking to his father. So this was a discussion which we had in the last class. Now, having attained the mercy of the Lord, one begins devotional service. So there is classification of devotees based on Shraddha, faith. So we attain by Mahat Kripa the mercy of the pure devotees where Shraddha takes birth. And this Shraddha can be Oman, can be Madhyam, or it can be Gard or proud. So based on that, there is classification of devotees. So now the standard classification of these devotees is going to come up in this discussion. Very, very important discussion. And it's a very important discussion for devotees to understand, and especially Prabhupada purpose here. So kindly stay tuned, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is a very important section which we are going to go through. Krishna Kripalo Arjunera Laksha Karya Jagatera Rakyachena Upadesha Diya. Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given protection to the whole world. Laksha Karya, Arjuna Lakshkari, aiming at. Actually, Arjuna doesn't need any instructions, even internal associate. But making Arjuna an instruction through the he gave the teachings of Bhagavad Gita to the whole world. So this is a very important verse here. Now, what was that instruction? Mahaprabhu is quoting these two verses, which are very important verses from the Bhagavad Gita, 64 and 65. Sarva Guhyatamam Bhuya Shunu me paramam vachah ishtosi me dridam iti tato vakshyami te tam manmana bhavamad bhaktah madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosmi. Because you are my very dear friend. Priyo asmi me. Me means me, Krishna is saying. Priya means very dear. Asmi, your. I am speaking to you my supreme instruction. Sarva Guhyatamam Guhya. I am speaking. The most confidential knowledge of all. This is Guhyatamam Shunu me. Hear this from me. Hear this from me. Shunu me. Paramam Vacha. For it is for your benefit. Always think of me, Manmana, Bhava, and become my devotee, Madhbhakta. Worship me, Madhyaji, and offer your homage unto me, Mam Namaskuru. Thus you will come to me without fail. Mam eva shasi satyam te. I promise you this, Pratigya, because you are my very dear friend. Tato vakshami te hitam. Hitam means for your benefit. So this is a quotation from Bhagavad Gita 64, 65. Now, what is the next verse after this? Anyone knows? Kindly raise your hands. What is the next verse after this? Anyone knows? Kindly raise your hands. Yes, Virendra Yadav ji. Rangna Charanji, give Rangna Charanji chance. Rangna Charanji, yes.
Sarvadharman Paritej.
Sarvadharman Paritej, Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja. Yes. So actually, the confidential knowledge is in two verses. It is, here in this verse, Sarva Guhyatamam, I'm going to speak. Guhya means again. And this is Shunu here, Paramam Vacha, my supreme words. Because Ishto, you are very dear to me. And I'm speaking for your welfare, Lakshmi, and he speaks this verse. So 65 and 66 constitutes that most confidential knowledge. Now, we'll not go into the whole discussion on the Bhagavad Gita about this verses, because that's a long discussion. But in essence, it is 65 and 66, which is the most confidential knowledge which Krishna is speaking. Okay. Now, Purvagya Veda Dharma Karma Yoga Gyan Saba Shadi Shesha Ei Agya Valavan. Shadi means not marriage. Shadi means to, give up maybe. Although Krishna previously explained the proficiency of executing Vedic rituals, Purvagya Veda Dharma, performing fruitive activity, karma, as enjoined in the Vedas, practicing yoga and cultivation jnana, yoga jnana. These last instructions are most powerful and stand above all others, especially Sarvadharman Parityajya. ये आज्ञा बोले भक्तेर श्रद्धा यदि होय सर्व कर्म त्याग करी से कृष्ण भजय. Now please hear very attentively. Where does that development of faith happens? If the devotee has faith in the strength of this order, now this order refers to which order? Kindly raise your hands. This order refers to which order? Devotees have raised their hands. Parsarthi Guruji. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Guruji. Mam ekam sharanam raja.
And any other? Yeah, you can go. 1 second, let me make your name. Yes. Yes, Guru.
Manmana bhava mat bhakto mat yaji mam.
These are the two verses, because you have to always think about Krishna. So in this order, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities. Giving up all activities is Sarvadharman Parityajya. So this is faith. Please remember, this is the faith. This is faith. From this faith, bhakti begins. Ananya bhakti begins in one sense. So I'm just going to, a detour from Prabhupada's one lecture on 1/7/27, which he gave in Vrindavan in 1976. First of all, you should come to this Krishna conscious movement. Some of you, not all, Shraddha. Krishna conscious movement, Hare Krishna movement is very good. So you come with little faith. This Hare Krishna people are nice. Let me go there. Let us see how it is, or let us join. So first of all, Shraddha. This is faith. You have to. Many people come out of Shraddha. Shraddha means little faith. So Prabhupada is defining this Shraddha with which we come to Krishna consciousness as little faith. But according to our Goswami literature, that faith is not little faith. So the Goswami literature speak about faith, like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because we are studying on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in one sense. Chaitanya Shiksha, Sanatana Shiksha is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That faith is not little faith. That faith is also very strong. Purna Shraddha. Purna Shraddha. I'll take up the questions if we finish this discussion. Then the beginning is there. Please mark Prabhupada's every statement. From this strong faith, there is a beginning. And this is the point here being made. The devotee has faith in this, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all of it. Then, his faith is Purna Shraddha, and from there his bhakti begins. Bhakti means Shuddha Bhakti, I mean. Then the beginning is there. Okay, now see further. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj has described about this faith. This faith means now the Goswami faith. He describes faith means Shraddha, English word faith, and Sanskrit word Shraddha, respectful, Shraddha. So this Shraddha, Adu Shraddha, the beginning is Shraddha, faith. So the beginning is Shraddha, that is Adu Shraddha, beginning stages. So this Shraddha is defined by Kaviraj Goswami. Shraddha Shabda Vishwas, Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Kale, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This Shraddha of the Goswami literature is Sudrida Nishchay. That if I am performing Krishna Bhakti, all other obligations are taken care. That means it's on the level of Sarvadharman Parityaja. This is Shraddha according to our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is Shraddha. So Prabhupada is defining this as actual Shraddha, not the other Shraddha. So the other Shraddha, we sometimes call it as a Laukika Shraddha. And this Shraddha, Goswami literature Shraddha is called as a Shastriya Shraddha. What is that? Krishna is asking, Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So Prabhupada is now quoting the same verse, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting to Sanatana Goswami. He's asking, demanding. So when we have faith in the words of Krishna, yes, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mamekam. Yes, I shall do. Then Shraddha begins. Please carefully mark Prabhupada's statement. Then Shraddha begins. And this Shraddha is Purna Shraddha. Otherwise, there is no Shraddha. That is the beginning of Shraddha, Ado. That is the beginning of Shraddha. Ado Shraddha Tatra Sadhu. If you have got faith in these words of Krishna, that yes, whatever Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam, accepted, then Shraddha begins. Then Shraddha begins, he's saying. So you are able to find out the difference between the two? I hope. Otherwise, there is no Shraddha, ordinary Shraddha. This ordinary Shraddha is called as Laukika Shraddha. They are going to this temple or another Kali's temple or Durga's temple. They say that everyone is all right. Whatever you like. That is not Shraddha, that is whims. Shraddha means when you firmly believe on the words of Krishna, that Krishna said, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, Shraddha Shabda Vishwas Kahe Sudrida Nishchay. Krishna said that, give up everything, I shall give you. Yes, it is a fact. Why shall I bother with? That is Shraddha. Vishwas Kahe Sudrida Nishchay. Sudrida means very firm faith, not flickering faith. When you have got this kind of Shraddha, naturally the next stage will be how to keep my Shraddha, firm faith in Krishna. So when you have got this Shastriya Shraddha or Purna Shraddha, as Jiva Goswami mentions, then there is Sadhu Sangha. Then you have to mix with devotees who are keeping constantly in Krishna's service. So these are different levels of sadhus who are constantly engaged in Krishna's service. Therefore, this temple is required that devotees will always be engaged in Krishna service, and those who have got Shraddha, they will come and see how the devotees are engaged, how they have sacrificed their life only for serving Krishna, not for anything else. That is Sadhu Sangha. So there is the initial Shraddha where we come into Krishna consciousness, and there is, we have faith, a little bit faith in Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and we take up with the practice of Krishna consciousness. But there is development of that Shraddha happening. And when that stage comes, where we have that firm faith and we give up completely everything, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, then devotion begins. Prabhupada says. That is pure devotion begins. Sarva Dharman Pariteja means. And then there is sadhu sang. There is a different type of sadhu sang where you associate with sadhus who are constantly engaged in Krishna's service. So this is, I just quoted this lecture of Prabhupada, and you'll find many references like this. Now, if you have questions, hold on, because I'll show now the same thing within the verses and purpose of Prabhupada, speaking the same thing again. Let us see. Now, after quoting that, when you have this, after quoting this, Sarva Karma Tyag, say Krishna Bhaje, when you have this Shraddha, Purna Shraddha. Now there is a reference given to substantiate what Mahaprabhu is saying. Tava karmani purnita na nirvidyeta yavata matkata shavanadova shraddhaya varna jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruit activity and has not awakened his taste for devotion service by Shravan Kirtan Vishnu, one has to act according to the regular principles of Vedic traditions. Tavat karmani purnita. Do your duties according to your conditioned nature. This is within the Varnashram, and now also, although Varnashram is not there, we act according to our conditioned nature. If somebody is a businessman, he will do business. Na nirvidya yat. As long as you're not completely disgusted or you're not satiated. Mat kata shavanado shraddha. Now here Shraddha, that Shraddha refers to Purna Shraddha or Shraddha Sabde Vishwas Sudrida Nishchaya. Or this refers to the point where you have come to the point of Sarva Dharman Pariteja. Then you can give up your conditions of how nature, and then pure devotion begins. Okay, hold on now. I will, whatever I am saying, I'll substantiate by again what Mahaprabhu is quoting and what Prabhupada is mentioning in the purpose. See, there is this next verse coming in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Exactly. Shraddha Shabda Vishwas Kahe, Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Kaile, Sarva Karma Kritava. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that one entering transcendental love service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Such faith, just this faith, your devotion begins. Now, Prabhupada's purport. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. Not little faith, firm faith. When a person engages in the Lord's devotional service, he is to be understood to have performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary entities, the demigods, and is free from all responsibility. If you still feel that there is some obligation I have towards my family, towards this, towards society, towards this, that obligation is there because of the sabhav. So you will act according to your sabhav. That means your shraddha has still not become fully matured. So practice both parallelly. Practice your devotional practices and do those activities also. And once balancing your life like this, hearing Krishna Katha, your Shraddha becomes firm that now I completely surrender to Krishna and I need not fulfill all these obligations. Till then, you have to do both the activities. But once you develop that firm faith, then pure devotion begins. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibilities separately. It is automatically done. Fruitive activity karma is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. So we have that still fruitive mentality because there is need of the senses. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activities. Awakens to Krishna consciousness means, Purna Shraddha. The best achievement of all fruitive activities is detachment from material life, and this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. Okay, I'll take a few more verses and then we will stop for the discussion. Now, firmly convinced. Now, there is a quotation by Mahaprabhu. Yata taror moola nisechanena tripyanti tat sandamujopashata prano pararacha yatendriyanam tataiva sarvarnam achutteja. By pouring water on the root of the tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach, where it nourishes the life as one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshipping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the demigods. So once who has understood this, he will not serve according to his conditioned nature. He has come to the point of Sarvadharman Parityajya. श्रद्धावान जन भय भक्ति अधिकारी उत्तम मध्यम कनिष्ठ श्रद्धानुसारी. Now this kind of Purna Shraddha who has attained, in that there are categories of Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishta. Faithful devotee is a truly eligible candidate for the loving service of the Lord. According to one's faith, Shraddhanusari, one is classified as a topmost devotee, an intermediate devotee, or an inferior devotee. Shraddha Anusari. Now, this Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttam are terminologies, and they can mean different in different contexts. It is based on how you use it. So here, right now in Sanatana Shiksha, which is parallel to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and you'll see that Kaviraj Goswami is going to quote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu verses. Here, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama is based on Shraddha. Shraddha Anusari. Shraddha means eligibility to take up to practice of devotion. Okay. I hope till now you are all with me. Any questions you have up till now? Just looking for okay. Okay, Partha has one question. Yes. Yes, probably.
In the verse Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango, Ado means
Ado is one stage where you have still developing your faith. You are having your nature and you feel obligation to maintain your life. Those are dependent on you. So you are situated in the social life and you're fulfilling those obligations. At the same time, you're hearing Krishna Katha and there is development of faith. And within this Ado stage only, you are having some kind of sadhu sangha, Krishna Katha you are hearing, you're practicing your spiritual life, you're chanting your rounds, and your initiation, first initiation, second initiation, all that happens. But as you keep on hearing Krishna Katha and you come to a point where you develop that firm faith and come to the point of Sarva Dharman Parityajya, that is Shraddha, and that Shraddha is called as Purna Shraddha.
I have one more question. Thank you, Pujji. I have one more question. Here in I have not read Bhakti Rasamrita, Nectar of Devotion completely. My question is, Raganuga Bhaktas, they don't follow Vedic rules and regulations. You said in the one of the slides, it was written that
No.
the devotees they follow Vedic rules and regulations. There was one reference. Till one has developed firm faith in Srimad Bhagavatam, till one has developed a firm faith uh, and one is not satiated by fruitive activity, one has to continue performing, one has to Vedic rules and regulations, one has to go by the Vedic rules and regulations. So, but I also know that Raganuga Bhaktas, they don't follow Vaidhi Bhakti, the Vedic process.
So we have to clearly understand that this Shraddha is the qualification for taking up bhakti. And bhakti means sadhana bhakti. And sadhana bhakti has two divisions, Vaidhi and Raganuga. So initially one is impelled to practice bhakti based on rules and regulations. And as he practices bhakti based on rules and regulations and with anarth nivritti happening, then he's qualified for Raganuga sadhana. And in Raganuga sadhana, he'll become more strict. There are, rules and regulations at that level where he's, more studying the Shastras, more absorbed in bhajan. So he's got more intensified. And for your kind information, the Raganuga sadhakas also externally follow all the rules and regulations of Vaidhi sadhana just to set an example to others. Otherwise, it will be a bad example. But what is being said is that a Raganuga sadhaka is impelled to practice bhakti out of greed, no spiritual greed. Whereas a Vaidhi sadhaka is impelled by Shastric rules and regulations, injunctions. That's the difference. So that is internal, which you cannot recognize. And even a Raganuga sadhaka follows all the rules and regulations, but his bhakti, his actions for performing devotional service are impelled by greed and not by the Shastric injunctions. I hope it is clear.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Fine. So this Shraddha, now this Purna Shraddha, there is Kanishta Madhyam Uttama. Of course, the Kanishta, his faith is not firm, it is mixed. So Prabhupada will bring out that. Let us see. Prabhupada. The word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the sum of Gunam, the eternal truth, and the absolute transcendence. If one has full faith in Krishna and confidence in him, one becomes eligible to discharge devotional service confidentially. See, we have to very carefully read Prabhupada's statements. When we become eligible, when we have full faith in Krishna and confidence. And this is the definition of Shraddha Prabhupada gave, if you remember in the previous purport. Then your adhikar is there for performing devotional service. What kind of devotional service? Ananyama. According to one's faith, one is a topmost, intermediate, or inferior devotee. Shastra yukte nisanipuna drida shraddhayandra uttama adhikari se tare samsara. One who is expert in logic, Shastra yukti, argument, and the revealed scriptures, so nipuna, and who has firm faith in Krishna, drida shraddhayandra, is classified as the topmost devotee, Uttamadhikari. He can deliver the whole world. Say Tare Samsar. Now, after Mahaprabhu quoting this to Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu and you can say Kaviraj Goswami have quoted Bhakti Rasamrita in the verse. Shastre yukto chanipuna sarvata drida nishchaya Prauda Shaddhodikariya Sabhakta Uttamo Mataha. One who is expert in logic, Shastrukti, and in understanding the revealed scriptures, so Nipuna, and who always has firm conviction and deep faith. Prauda Shraddha. Proud means mature faith. That is not blind. Is to be considered the topmost devotee in devotional service. Sabhakto Uttamo Mata. This verse appears in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami also, when he discusses sadhana bhakti, then adhikar to practice Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, he says there are three, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, and first he defines Kanishta here. This is exactly the same verse as this one. Shastra Yukta Su Nipuna, here it is Shastra Yukta Cha Nipuna. And here it is Drid Shraddha Yandra, here it is Proud Shraddha. That's it. Okay, now the next definition. शास्त्र युक्ति नहीं जाने दृढ़ श्रद्धावान मध्यम अधिकारी से महाभाग्यवान. One who is not very expert in argument and logic based on the revealed scriptures. Shastra yukti nahi jane, but has firm faith is considered a second class. Dhrida shraddhavan. So his shraddha is what kind of shraddha? Dhrida. Shraddhavan. Van means one who possesses shraddha. So he possesses a lot of shraddha. He must be considered most fortunate. Say Mahabhagyavan. So there he had used, say Tare Samsar. He can deliver the whole world. Whereas this person is Mahabhagyavan. Now, this Madhyamadhikari definition is here in the Bhakti Rasamrita. Yah Shastradishu Anipuna Shraddhavan say Satu Madhyama. One who does not know the scriptural argument very well. Shastra Adishu Anipuna. Here also it is written Na Jani, Nahi Jani. But who has firm faith? Shraddhavan is called an intermediate or second class. This is again Bhakti Rasamrita 1 to 18. Now let's see Komal Shraddha. Yahara Komal Shraddha say Kanishta Jan Krame Krame Teno Bhakta Hode Uttam. One whose faith is soft and fallible is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of first class divinity. And Rup Goswami says, Yo Bhavet Komala Shraddha say Kanishta Nigartate. One whose faith is not very strong, which is just beginning, should be considered a neophyte. This is 1 to 20. Now, all three together, Prabhupada is giving a purport. Let us see that. Oh, it's not here. It's there, I think, in the next discussion. Let me see, because it's very important. Yes, yeah, it's there in the next discussion. Yes. So, any questions about this now, up till now? About these three adhikaris? Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama. There are the questions. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam. Just one clarification with regard to this Madhyam Adhikari definition, where is not expert in argument and logic based on scriptures. So, does it fall in category of Laukik Shraddha or?
Oh, very good question. Very nice question. The Madhyamadhikari Shraddha is deep. That's why called Shraddhavan. He has Shastriya Shraddha. That means he understands the Bhakti literatures. Shastrartha Vishwas. Shraddha means Shastrartha Vishwas. He understands the Vedic conclusions. He studies the Shastra. He understands. He relishes. But when he argues with someone who is having more superior logic, he might be not able to convince him. But his faith in the Shastra is deep. That is not shaken. That is what it means. His faith is not shaken. I hope it is clear.
Thank you, thank you.
He's having not Lauki Shraddha, it is Shastri Shraddha. So the now next classification is very important, and here there is again some more clarification Prabhupada is going to give. Now this is the classification of devotees based on rati, attachment and prema, love. Now this is based on the Bhagavatam. Now the Bhagavatam classification is a little from a different angle. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu classification is based on Shraddhanusari of candidates who are qualified to take up to devotional service. The Bhagavatam classification is based on more in the form of prema. Prema here you can say as vision or consciousness. What is the vision of the Kanishta? He just sees, he has love only for prema for only the deity, not for the devotees. Whereas the Madhyam has prema for the Lord for the devotees, for the innocent, and love for the envious also. And the Uttam has prema for all living beings. So like that, the classification is based on rati and prema, or vision or consciousness, you can say. Rati prema taratamne bhakta taratama ekadashe skanda tara kariyache lakshana. A devotee is considered superlative or superior according to his attachment and love. This is according to attachment and love. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the following symptoms are being given. Okay, now we are going to the 11th canto. Now, here is Prabhupada purport. This is very, very important, very interesting. Kindly hear attentively. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has stated that if one has developed faith in Krishna consciousness, he is to be considered an eligible candidate for further advancement in Krishna consciousness. Those who have faith are divided in three categories: Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta. First class, second class, and neophyte. A first class devotee has firm conviction, Dhrida Shraddha or Pradashraddha, in the revealed scriptures, and is expert in arguing according to Shastra. Nipuna, is very Nipuna, as it was mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Very, very Nipuna. Just a second. He is firmly convinced of the science of Krishna consciousness. The Madhyamadikari or second class devotee has firm conviction in Krishna consciousness, but he cannot support his conviction by citing Shastric references. So this is the difference, as we pointed out to the question of Virendra. Now, Prabhupada says the neophyte devotee does not yet have firm faith. This is about the Kanishta. In this way, the devotees are typed. This is how the devotees classification, Shraddhanusari, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama is mentioned. The standard of devotion is also categorized in the same way. Now, what is the standard of devotion of a neophyte? A neophyte believes that only love of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good. He has only love for Krishna. But he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness, or how one can become a perfect devotee. So this is the neophyte. He has only love for Krishna, but he doesn't know how to become a pure Krishna conscious devotee, or how to become a perfect devotee. That is a Kanishta. Sometimes in the heart of a neophyte, there is attraction for karma, jnana, and yoga. When he is free and transcendental to mixed devotional activity, he becomes a second class devotee. Now, from this statement, what is the practice of a Kanishta? Is he practicing Ananya Bhakti, or what is he practicing? From this statement, please go through the statement. It's very obvious, but still I would like to know. What about others? Tirthapal Prabhuji, are you there?
Harikshapu,
Yes.
can you once more read me the question, too?
You know, when Prabhupada is saying this neophyte, one statement was that, he has only love for Krishna consciousness, and he is very, that only love for Krishna is very good, but he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness, or how to become a pure devotee. That was said. And
Yes.
then there is attraction for karma, jnana, and yoga is there. And then Prabhupada is saying when he is free and transcendental to mixed devotional activity, he becomes a second class. That is Madhyama.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
what kind of bhakti is this Kanishta practicing then? What kind of bhakti is this Kanishta practicing? Yes, Ranganacharam.
He is practicing mixed devotional service too.
Yes, he is practicing Mishra Bhakti, or what Bhaktivinoda Thakur defines as Abhas Bhakti. Bhakti has not come to the point of Ananya Bhakti. So only when he comes to the Madhyamadikari and attains Shastriya Shraddha, then he is qualified for Ananya Bhakti. So please note this for sadhakas like us. It's very important for us to understand this. That to get adhikar to practice Ananya Bhakti is a very elevated platform. You have to come to the Madhyamadikari stage. And Madhyama means that one is on the stage of Nishtha. From there, pure devotion begins. Prabhupada is also very clear. One of his lectures, not well, many lectures you can see, and many references you can. I can quote hundreds of references even from the Bhaktivedanta purpose. When he becomes expert in logic and can refer to the Shastra, he becomes first class. So from Kanishta, you have to come to Madhyam and then ultimately come to Uttam. Your adhikar to practice bhakti goes to higher and krame Uttama. Ultimately, you have to come to the platform of Uttama. At least you have to, come from mixed devotional service from the Kanishta stage to Madhyam Adhikari, where you get the adhikar to practice Ananya Bhakti. The devotees are also described as positive, comparative, and superlative in terms of their love and attachment for Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada now he starts speaking about. He starts giving his purport for this verse. This verse. Up till now, he was giving his purports based on those previous verses of Bhakti Rasamrita. Please remember that. It's very difficult to figure it out if you are reading it. He's now giving. Both together, he's combining everything. It should be understood that a Madhyam Adhikari or a second-class devotee is fully convinced of Krishna consciousness, but cannot support his convictions with Shastric reference. A neophyte may fall down by associating with non-devotees because he is not firmly convinced and strongly situated. The second-class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric reference, can gradually become first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with first class. So the Madhyam Adhikari is on a very elevated platform. He gradually becomes a Uttam Adhikari to practice Bhakti. His Shraddha will come to that stage by two things: study of Shastra and associating with Mahabharats. So now, after you come to these stages of Adhikar, from Kanishta, you have to come to the Madhyam at least. Then your Ananya Bhakti begins, and then you come to the Uttam. So then you have Adhikar to practice Bhakti. At least from the Madhyam stage. That is very clear. Shravanadi Kriya Tara Swarupa Lakshan Tatashta Lakshana Upajaya. 1 second. Oh, there is some mistake there. This slide has by mistake. Let me delete it. What was the connection? I could not figure out why did this slide come here. Give me a second. So, yeah. So we have two more verses to discuss, and we will discuss that now. Okay. So I hope we went through Prabhupada purport and it is clear to you all. Any questions you have on that? It's very important to understand this purport, which we just now went through. Prabhupada is speaking actually. Here the verse starts of the classification based on love, but Prabhupada is speaking about those three adhikaris, Kanishta, Madhyama, Shraddhanusari, and then he starts speaking about based on love, and he gives an understanding how based on Shraddha you can further make advancement from Kanishta to Madhyama to Madhyama to Uttama. Any questions on this you have? Raghunath Prabhuji has a question. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I understand, yes, Kanishta Adhikari's practice mixed devotional service, but he continues to practice mixed devotional service until the Anartha Nivritti is complete.
Yes.
So until he comes to the stage of Nishta, is he still considered as a Kanishta Adhikari, or he comes to the stage of Madhyamadhikari?
No, that's what, when we see from angle of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of definition of Kanishta Madhyam Uttama, we have to see from that angle. From that angle, definitely he is Kanishta. His Shraddha is Lokik Shraddha, not Shastri Shraddha. And as his study of hearing more and more philosophy and studying the scriptures, understanding comes in, the anarthas get eliminated, misgivings are destroyed. Then his firm faith in Shastra improves. The more the firm faith in Shastra, the more faith in his bhajan. So then he gets rid of the anarthas. So then he comes to that stage of Madhyama. Because at the stage of Madhyama, he attains Shastriya Shraddha. We have to remember that.
So the Anartha Nivritti stage is so long.
Yes.
Generally, it's very difficult to get through that stage. So one thinks that if he's happy that if he's able to come to Nishta stage in this life. So we are all Kanishta Adhikaris in that sense.
Even I am also the same. Why do it is, it is, see, the main thing for us to know now is that if we are in an illusion that what we are practicing now is Shuddha Bhakti, and we will never make an effort to go progress ahead. But when we get that right knowledge and the right understanding, and with that right knowledge and understanding, you start practicing bhakti, then it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference. And then now until my swabhav conditioning is there, I'm affected by the modes. I have not transcended modes. My bhakti has not begun. Till then, it is only bhakti abhas, or it is Mishra bhakti, because there is modes. Modes are covering, so the karma avran is happening. So I know that, and having that knowledge itself is like 50% of the battle won. So with that sambandha gyan knowledge, when you start practicing bhakti, then it is a matter of Krishna's mercy, spiritual master's mercy, and your endeavors. It might be that in this life 20-30 years you have been practicing steadily, and at certain point you might come to a stage where your devotion matures and you take up to Anand Bhakti, and it is very quick after that. It's very quick, or in the last few days of your life, or we don't know in the next life. But that knowledge, that clear understanding is very, very important, and that is half the battle won in one sense. I hope this.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to serve Raghunath Prabhuji, very, very senior devotee, practicing since many years, and so enthusiastic coming for the sessions and attending all of this. I'm very happy to serve you. So yes, now let us come to the three Kanishta Uttama Madhyama based on love and attachment. And these are the verses. Sarva Bhuteshu Yaha Pashe Bhagavat Bhavamatmanah Bhutani Bhagavatyatmanya Esha Bhagavatottama. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls. Sarva Bhuteshu Yaha Pashe Bhagavat Bhavamatmanah. Supreme Personality, Godhead Sri Krishna. Because in his heart he is seeing Krishna, wherever he sees, everywhere he sees Krishna. This is a very elevated level of consciousness. The gopis of Vrindavan fit in this definition. Consequently, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana. He always sees the form of the Supreme Personality Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in Him. Bhutani Bhagavatatma, Esha Bhagavat 11 to 45. Again, we will not go into the elaborate discussion on the Bhagavad classification of Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama, and even the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We did not go in detail because that itself will require few classes to discuss. It's a separate topic in itself, and we should discuss that. Just this terminology is Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, and the classifications is like 8-10 classes we can have. I feel. Okay, now let us see the Madhyama's definition. Ishvara, Ishvare tad adhineshu, bhalisheshu, dushatsu cha, prema maitri, kripo peksha, yah karoti samadhyama. An intermediate, second class devotee shows love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishwar is friendly to all devotees. Tad adineshu maitri. That love which is there for the Lord, that love manifests in the form of friendship to his devotees, and is very merciful to neophytes. Kripo for the Balishu. So that love what he has for the Lord manifests as compassion to the innocent. The intermediate devotee neglects those who are envious of devotion service. Upeksha for the Dushatsu. So that same love manifests in the form of upeksha, neglect for those who are envious. That is also a sign of love. This also is a quotation from Bhagavatam 11 to 36. These come as a series of verses. This statement was made by the great sage Narad while he was speaking to Vasudeva about devotional service. Actually, it is a conversation between Narad and Krishna's father, Vasudeva, and Narad is quoting the conversation within the Navayogendras and Maharaj Nimi. The subject was originally discussed between Nimi, the king of Vidheya, and the 9 Yogendras. Yeah, Prabhupada is making that point. The Kanishta. Archayam eva hare pujam yah shaddaye hate na tad bhakteshu chaneshu sa bhakta prakrita smita. Prakrita Bhakta or materialistic devotee does not purposefully study either Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. Prabhupada is elaborately giving a translation and explanation of Kanishta. Consequently, he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulative principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. This is called as Parampara Prapta Shraddha or Lokika Shraddha. So his Shraddha is Parampara Prapta Shraddha. He is to be considered on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in religious service. Such a person is a Bhakta Praya, neophyte devotee. See Prabhupada's translation or Bhakta Abhas, for he is a little enlightened by Vaishnava philosophy. So this Kanishta is called as a Bhakta Praya, Bhakta Abhas, or Prakrita Bhakta. All these are same terminologies. They are synonyms. This verse is also from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says one who has full love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and maintains a good friendship with the Lord devotees is always follows to those who envy Krishna and Krishna's devotees. So this statement refers to whom? The Uttamadhikari or the Madhyamadhikari? Who will answer this? Yes, Parth Satyavati.
Madhyamadhikari.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, I also consider him Madhyamadhikari.
Both are correct. I just testing. Such a person is to be considered an intermediate devotee. What are you answering? He becomes a first-class devotee when, in the course of advancing in devotion, he feels an intimate relationship with all living entities, seeing them as part and parcel of the supreme person. So, how that from Madhyama he goes to the Uttama, there is a hint given here. So, you can take this hint, He feels an intimate relationship with all living entities, one, and he sees them all as part and parcel of Krishna. So that's how in the Uttam, Adhikari, there are different levels also, the monsters, which is quite exhaustively discussed in the Bhagavatam. So that is regarding the Madhyama Adhikari. Okay, any questions till now? Any questions or clarifications? So I hope it was very clear that how the flow is happening, that one who has faith in the most confidential instruction of Krishna, he has Shraddha, he is qualified to practice bhakti. And this adhikar to practice bhakti is based on Shraddhanusari, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttam. Then Mahaprabhu defines who is a Uttama, who is a Kanishta, who is a Madhyam, and the corresponding verses from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also quoted. And then Prabhupada's purport made it very clear that the Kanishta is his faith is common, and he has not yet attained that Shastriya Shraddha. And that's why he has attachment still to karma. He's not come to the point of Sarvadharman Parityajya. So his devotion is mixed. His devotion is mixed. And it is Mishra Bhakti or Abhas Bhakti, what we call. And only when he comes to the point of Madhyam Adhikari, then he becomes qualified. He's, Shraddha Shabda Vishwas. He comes to the point of Sarvadharman Parityajya, and he becomes qualified to practice Anil Bhakti. And then now, the Bhagavatam definitions were given of now here, please remember the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu definitions or the Sanatana Shiksha definitions of Mahaprabhu. They are to do with eligibility to practice bhakti, Ananya Bhakti especially. Whereas the Bhagavatam has not mentioned that this is the eligibility. They just classify based on love. Little love for Krishna. Only you go and see Krishna in the deity form. More love, you have love for Krishna, for his devotees, for innocent, and for the envious you neglect. And deep love, where you see the intimate relationship with all the jivas in relation to Krishna and see everyone as part of it. But remember that the Bhagavat, classification is not meant for adhikar to practice bhakti. The adhikar to practice bhakti is only based on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or what verses Mahaprabhu quoted to Sanatana Goswami. I hope it is clear. Any questions or clarification anyone has? Okay, so then we will stop here. Now the next theme is going to begin in the next set of verses. And it's very, very important now what is going to come up. So stay tuned and we will meet tomorrow for the next class. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Hare Krishna.